This is the grave of two people, actually, Jonas and Austin Bridge. The father, Jonas, died on January 16 in 1863 in Bouckville, New York, at 50 years old from consumption. Consumption was the old term used for tuberculosis because it would literally consume the person's entire body before they died, and oftentimes it could last for several years if it didn't kill them right away. An hour after Jonas died, his 4-year-old son Austin died of scarlet fever. Scarlet fever is a bacterial infection that was the leading cause of death for children at this time. It would often start as strep throat that would lead to a red rash that looked like sandpaper all over their body. Then they would eventually die from a combination of abscesses in the throat, or pneumonia, meningitis, rheumatic heart disease, or kidney failure. It was definitely not a nice way to go. It wasn't until the year 1900 they started using scarlet fever serum from horse blood that the mortality rates dropped significantly. Before that, 325 of every 1,000 children born in the United States in the mid-1800s would die of an infectious disease like scarlet fever, typhoid, cholera, or one called cholera infantum, which killed small children in the summer months. It was believed to be from a lack of pasteurization and refrigeration. So they would basically just die of dehydration from throwing up and diarrhea. Even though there's still no vaccine for scarlet fever, today, of course, it's treated with antibiotics before it can cause death. Jonas and Austin were placed in the same coffin together after they died. And according to a newspaper article, the funeral procession was nearly a mile long from Bouckville to Madison. The symbol at the top of their stone was used for members of the Freemasons, which Jonas was, and that same article said their funeral was attended by several Masons as well. At the end of this video, I'll show what it looks like today, 3 weeks after I cleaned it. It still has some lightening up to do, but the D2 solution I use can take up to a year sometimes to pull the rest of those stains out. I know some of you are worried that I don't wear gloves when I clean headstones, and I really appreciate that. But to be honest, the D2 is all biodegradable, and it's really safe. I actually have to worry more about the stuff coming off the stone, like mold, than what I use to clean it. I always work on them while it's wet, so I'm not breathing in anything that's gross, but to also reduce friction so I'm not pulling grains out of the stone while I clean it.